Wednesday for the Redneck Garage. It's windy today. I'm trying to stay out of the wind so you don't hear just all the whooshing noises, but I've got a couple projects coming up, and one is going to be fixing my wife's Toyota Prius, or my wife's former Toyota Prius, right? I got a video coming up on what we're replacing the Prius with, but this car has been amazing. It's got 49,000 miles on it, and it's a 2012. Never had anything done to it. It's been an absolutely spectacular car. But one night she parked in the driveway a little bit closer than I thought, and I backed into it. And I'm selling the car, so we're going to do some body work and painting on it. I got to do a rear quarter repair, and I thought that'd be fun to show you how to do a spot in whatever. Let's take a look. So the sad little Prius has been hit twice here by me, believe it or not. And about probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there were some guys that came by and said, hey, we do mobile body work. We can do that for like 500 bucks with paint. Well, what I didn't know is they used a spray can from frickin' Home Depot or AutoZone or somewhere and just slapped some Bondo in it. So we got to get all this out. That's a whole nother story. I'm not even gonna get into that. But we got to get this old Bondo out. You can see how they did a crappy job. And then we can go ahead and start getting our metal ready to put filler back in it. So I'm going to take a grinder with a sanding disc and see how much we can get off and get down to real metal. Sometimes the hardest part is trying to figure out the contour, and I'm looking at kind of how the contour goes on this side, and then I'll try to look over here, figure out where it's crushed in and pull it out. But you can see here it's all cleaned up, got all the rust off of it, grounded off, and I've got to pull out. This whole piece should be about flat going across, and all they did was just slap a bunch of Bondo in the hole. Using my Milwaukee Impact. Yee! You can see this is where they used a dent puller on it before. I've got a little spot welder that you can put studs on, but there's not much use in that at this point because it's already got a million holes. I've got it knocked out about where I want it as far as that goes. I'll put some tape over it, over the bumper. Put a little tape over the bumper, maybe even disconnect it here. I find this hilarious. You know, when your Tesla breaks down, your beautiful electric vehicle, the most green machine in the world, we're going to send out a Ford Power Stroke diesel to pick it up. All right, so this is my first pass. It probably would have been better if I hadn't leaned into it with my leg. That's great. Ruined my pants and screwed that up. But this kind of gives me our original contour. I'll let this harden up. It's kind of cold out here today. We'll sand it, and then we'll start looking for low and high spots, and it'll probably take 2 to 3 more coats before we start laying in some heavy primer in it. And I'm going to have to blend in the bumper because it was already jacked up here, and then I got over it, so whatever. Great. Awesome. All right, so I thought I'd come in because it was too windy out there to even film. No audio out there, so I'm inside, and I thought I'd tell you what the true story was behind that jackleg Prius repair, right? So what happened was I backed into her car, Jennifer's car, and it went like that way for 3 or 4 months, and I think the car was maybe 2 years old or something. It was newer, you know, it looked good, and then I crunched the back rear quarter panel right there at the fender. Same place I hit it the second time, because I can't see it real well back now. So anyway, she's at work one day, and these jackleg Johnnies come through and just said, we can fix your car for like 600 bucks. And I told them, I said, she calls me, and I'm thinking, okay, I can get out of doing this. If they could do a halfway decent job, and you know what I was thinking, I could do that. I could have a little air compressor and a van and a little spray gun, and just, because it wasn't a big dent. Well, I said, okay, let them go ahead and do it. So I did go by and see them, and they were sanding it out, and I was just like, I don't know, but they pulled the dent, kind of. And I said, I went back into Jennifer, and I said, okay, when they're done, take a look at it. If it doesn't look perfect, if it doesn't look shiny, then you call me, and I'll come down here, and I won't pay them if it looks like crap. Because I talked to them and said, hey, this one needs to look decent. So guess what she did? She paid them $500 cash, and it looked like the crack of one's back section, and I was very upset. I said, why did you pay them without calling? She goes, I didn't know what to look for. And I was just like, well, if you let me, all you had to do is call me, I would have come down and taken a look at it, because I didn't know how long it would take them. They basically put Bondo over, and then I'm not sure if I think they did primer or maybe a little bit, but then they took some spray cans, Duplicolor spray cans from AutoZone, and just sprayed over it so you could tell what kind of gloss that was. It looked like crap. So I was kind of upset, but I just let it go because I didn't feel like fixing the Prius. And then, right, probably about a month or two ago, I was backing out, and she kind of parked at an angle, and as I was backing out in the new ProMaster, I just clipped it again, right? Same dang spot, because she parks wrong. It's not my fault. You know I couldn't be at fault for any of this. It had to be her fault. That Prius jumped out anyway. Anyway, I'm selling the Prius to my older son Christian. He had the Jeep. He still has the Jeep Cherokee that he's driving that we put a head gasket on years ago. He's done a good job of keeping it maintained, only because the Jeep itself has maintained itself. It's not because he's done anything extraordinary for that 2.5 liter engine. It's just held together in spite of no maintenance. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a durable Jeep. It's still driving, but it's having all kinds of issues, like headlights don't come on. A lot of the issues are because there has been no maintenance done on it. When your headlights don't come on, fix it. No, just keep driving it. So anyway, I'm selling him and his wife the Prius for a good price, no interest loan, which is going to be great for them because this car has 48,000 miles on it. Looks like a brand new one on the inside. Gets 55 miles per gallon on a good day, 35 if Jennifer's driving. And so that's what I'm getting it fixed up for him to take. The bumper has a crack in the back because when he got married, Jennifer caught it on a post. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that. Probably just put a patch on the back side, shoot some paint on it maybe, and just let it go. Urethane repair. Anyway, I'm going to let that dry. We're going to do a couple more sanding passes over it and see where we're at. And then we're going to have to hand contour it. It's no fun at all. But I'll be glad to get it done. I don't know how windy it is. I got the camera down a little bit lower, but I'm going to try out my new Milwaukee cordless orbital sander. Probably won't be able to do the finish sanding with this, but sandpaper is pretty cheap, and I can do knocking it down first original cuts with this without dragging all my air tools out. See how it works. Well, that's pretty good. This part's about right. A little bit low in a couple spots, but right here is where it's low, where that contour comes out. It kind of comes out and then down, straight down. So right in here is where it's missing some Bondo. I'll put another coat on it, and then we'll go from there. And this is going to be a flush edge, but looking better, looking better. All right, so that's the second coat of Bondo, and you can kind of see where I laid it in here and then filled in the top section there, and probably going to have to sand that off and then start contouring because this comes pretty far out. If we look at the other side, if I'm looking at this side, it's got a really good contour right here that comes out and then goes straight down. So you're kind of just sculpting it. Now this may not come out completely perfect. I know that this part wasn't dented, so I can kind of work off that reference point. But as long as I get a pretty good contour and it's nice, smooth and flat, then we'll be in pretty good shape. But pretty happy so far with just the Milwaukee electric tools that I've used, grinding it off and then putting that back in after I've massaged it out. Let that harden up, we'll see how it looks. Okay, so that's about it for today. We're going to continue on with this small amount of body work, see if I can get this thing to look like something. Just remember, if you drive a Tesla and your car breaks down, look for a Ford. We got some more videos coming up. I'm going to get the Jeep route rolling. We're going to put a soft top on it. I've been saying that. A lot of stuff coming up. The Versa, we're going to figure out what's wrong with it. Who knows? I'm ready to start making some more videos. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Thanks for watching. Keep turning wrenches.